Hey guys, Quicksilver Gaming here, bringing you another episode of Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. This is our German 1920s campaign. It is February of 1935. We are currently at war with the Italian Empire, and we're being attacked by a lot of submarines. So, not a lot we can do here other than auto-resolve these, so we just have to hope that our ASW that's redundant. ASW warfare. Anti-submarine warfare holds out, which in that one it did. Two sunk submarines, 2 lights, that's good. And as I said, there's just a lot of submarine spam going on here. This is where I get a little bit more worried. There's some actual targets here for the subs. They could have taken out some battle cruisers in the last one, but we had light cruisers. They seem to have better success against our larger fleets. And I say that, and then suddenly all of the submarines are sunk in this one. So, I don't know. There's been a couple minor updates since the last episode, so maybe they changed ASW. I didn't really read the patch notes. Unfortunately, they like to release a lot of mini patches. It would be nice if they just released one larger patch, but let's just power through these, see what happens. Wow, really good on our part so far. Absolutely amazing. That was so many sunk submarines. That's incredible. Absolutely love to see that. Then there's just our naval invasion going on. Chance to succeed 100%. That is something you really like to see. So, what do I have going on here? I have 3 battleship fleets invading Sardinia, Western Sicily, and if we can take that, that would be absolutely amazing. We already have... Oh wait, I said Sardinia. Sicily. We already have Sardinia. Yeah, sorry, we already have Sardinia, so we are invading Western Sicily is what we are invading here. Good old geography. Yeah, that's that's a little embarrassing, but that's what's going on at the very start of the campaign. Just to give you a brief overview, or start of the campaign, start of this episode, to give you a brief overview of what is going on. Our economy is in a great spot. We're doing a little bit of shipbuilding, but not a lot. In terms of politics, I believe the Hungarians just declared peace with us, if I recall, not too long ago. And, oh, sorry, we are not the Italian Empire. I am just a mess at the start of this episode. So, the Italians we are at war with. The Chinese don't like us. I don't want to go to war with them. It's like nothing's going to happen. The Spanish, that's a war I would want to take. The Austrians, they just declared peace with us. And then the Americans, maybe we'll go to war with them again. Unfortunately, the factions I want to go to war with, which is France and England, they're sort of apathetic toward me, or England, 69 reputation, nice. They really like us. That's the number. As far as our GDP, it was doing amazing before war. Obviously, during war, your GDP drops, but if we get out of war, this will go back up to like 14%. As you can see, some of these nations, they are in negative growth, which is not good for them. Lots of nations in negative growth, except for the United States, who are positive, but they might go to war with Russia. As far as what we are building, if I recall, it's a bunch of destroyers, repairing our battleship. Yeah, so a bunch of destroyers, and that was in a response to a bunch of our ships being damaged by submarines. But then we just sank the entire Italian submarine fleet, so I'm not really sure there. And then a couple more Scharnhorst class battle cruisers, and a couple more light cruisers. So that is where we are at, and we will continue our attack of the Italian Empire. Alright, as I auto-resolve these battles with submarines, just have to let you know something. I did something that I don't normally do, and I accepted a peace treaty or an alliance with the Soviet Union. And one of the reasons I did that is because they're at war with a few countries, and maybe that'll drag me into those wars with them. I don't... Oh, gosh, okay. We did so well against submarines last time, now doing terrible. But I don't usually do alliances with other countries, but because of the lack of wars that are going on in this, I thought, you know what, let's try something different. So we are unfortunately allies with the Soviet Union. I'll just go ahead and show that off for you in the politics tab, since I forgot to show it when it popped up. But Germany and the Soviet Union 100%. So, yeah, you know, we'll see what comes about it. If you look at the Soviet Union, they're at war with the United States, they're at war with Austria-Hungary, they're at war with Japan. Oh, they're allies with Italy. Well, that's awkward. Why would they want to be our ally? Oh, I should have selected no. But oh, and that went down. That went from 100% to 87%. Wonder if that's because of the Soviet Union. Well, we shall see, but thought I would update you there. On a rather unfortunate turn of events, Germany failed to control western Sicily, which is quite phenomenal, as we were at 100% for a while there. So we've been taking a lot of submarine attacks. In fact, I don't know if I showed it, but one of our destroyers was sunk in a submarine attack. So it's becoming quite difficult here. And then some of our transport ships were sunk too. Really need to figure out what to do here, as I'm a little bit out of sorts. I think we should move this battlecruiser fleet down to about here, and that should be good. So what do we have? These are ships that have taken damage, except for the destroyer. Actually, I don't know where that destroyer came from, so that battlecruiser fleet is all right. What do we have? Should be 6 cruisers per. I need to move. For some reason, this battleship that was at in Greece went back to Germany. Let's move him back into the fleet, and so that came from that fleet, and that destroyer was sunk over there, and that destroyer was damaged from this fleet. So interesting stuff going on right here. We're really feeling the wrath of submarines, and kind of disappointed that that naval invasion failed. I mean, Western Sicily says 0 tons to invade. That's odd. I wonder if that's just because we tried to invade it already. I mean, we have been damaging the port. Yeah, the port capacity is 0 tons. So I don't really understand how we failed that one, but we'll try it again, and we'll see if it works. A bunch of our destroyers are, rolling off the docks, so we shall see. We can add those to our fleet for a little bit more anti-submarine warfare. And as far as research goes, I mean, armor forging is coming up, so minus 5% armor weight, which that's always nice to help build out ships, but otherwise nothing too exciting. I really need boilers and engines for a big battleship. Really struggling to build one, and it's mostly because I'd like my battleships to be about 30 knots. I don't really like going slower than that, but I can't get the engine efficiency up for even like a 62,000 ton battleship with 16-inch guns, so that's a little bit disappointing, but that's where we're at. That I would just show off the disappointment there. Show you how many submarines are around too. So this is actually pretty cool. I guess because we damaged the port so much last time, it's only 3 turns to invade Western Sicily. This time it shows 100%. Hopefully it stays that way. I will note, I didn't show it off because it gets kind of boring auto-resolving submarine battles, but the Algiers was attacked by submarines. Like, no depth charges whatsoever. But the Algiers sunk the submarine that attacked it, so maybe some sort of like reconnaissance airplane dropped a depth charge on it or something, or maybe the submarine surfaced for some reason and 5.9-inch guns shot it. I don't know. So that was just odd, very very odd. The submarine warfare in this game, I like if you're gonna have subs in the game, just put subs in the game. Like, figure out a way how to put submarines underneath the water, and figure out a way how to integrate depth charges in the game. I mean, War on Sea or War on the Sea or whatever does it. I mean, there's obviously it's a full-blown sub game, but Cold Waters, and then you go to like U-boat destroyer, all of those. I don't know. If you want submarines to be in the game, make them part of the game. Don't make them these like annoying auto-resolve battles. But that's just my seems like every episode rant on submarines. Well, the submarines continue to happen. Absolutely devastating loss here. One single submarine sank the Graf Spee, and that was in a battlecruiser fleet of 2 battlecruisers, 2 light cruisers, and 2 destroyers. That is, oh gosh, that is so rough. Man, I don't really know what to do. I have depth charges. I have sonar. It's getting rocked by these submarines, it feels like. So, oh well, nothing you can really do because it's an auto resolve. On the plus side, Germany has finally gained control of Western Sicily, so that is good here. That gives us a nice port to a hub in the Mediterranean, because Sardinia, those ports were a little small. This one, we can actually fit a battleship in. Okay, a few things to show off here. Another refit of the Bismarck class battleship, and this one's pretty good. A lot more efficiency added to it. So we went up to Oil 3, we just recently unlocked that, Diesel 2 engines, Augs 3, and Shaft 3 from 2 and 2. We changed our Corp 5 armor to modern armor, and did increased shell ammo, went to the 2 powder 2, because we only had 2 powder 1. And then we messed around with the armor qualities, which I'm pretty happy with. I think the belt armor stayed the same, but we went up to a 6-inch deck, which I like for where we're getting in the battle, where it's going to be a lot more plunging fire. We also got the pitch and roll down to blue numbers here, and we increased the inner deck and inner belt sizes to sort of line up with the main belt and main deck. So I think that's pretty nice for the Bismarck. We had, I think it was like 4,000 or 5,000 tons to mess with after we went to Oil 3 and Diesel 2 and the modern armor. So I think the Bismarck class is looking like a battleship that will stand the test of time. So as I said, pretty nice there. Then I went ahead and designed the Berlin class battleship, which I mean, it looks just like the Bismarck. It basically is a Bismarck 2.0. Main difference here, it's 64,000 tons as opposed to the 54,500 tons of the Bismarck. Otherwise, everything here is the same pretty much until you get to the gun size. This has 16-inch guns on it, so packs a little bit more punch, and then it's a little bit more armored. 16-inch main belt and an 8-inch main deck. So yeah, it's basically a Bismarck 2.0. I mean, nothing spectacular to look at. I don't really have the guns unlocked to build a super battleship, and as you can see, engine efficiency is only 99.9%. That'll go up as more research is unlocked, but that's with oil 3 and a diesel 2 engine and aux 3. That's basically as good as we could get. 64,000 is the smallest we can make this size of a hull with a 3% beam before the hull shortens drastically, and then you can't fit anything on the ship. And as I've said in numerous videos, length is my main issue with the shipbuilder. They just don't make ships long enough in this game compared to their tonnage. But that's the new Berlin class battleship, so we'll start refitting Bismarcks and building Berlins, and then I'll slowly go through all of the other ships. I probably won't show it off, but we will be upgrading everything from the Krupp armor to the modern armor, and then just any other small tweaks we can do to make our fleet better. Really, for the most part, a lot of our ships, these are the ships that are going to stick with us for the rest of the campaign. As we unlock new hulls, new technology, we might add more ships, but we probably won't scrap any of these ships, as these are ships that'll stand the test of time. Alright, after quite a few turns of just submarine spam and realizing that nothing was really coming about this war anymore, I decided to intervene and ask for peace with Italy, and thankfully it was signed. I could have maybe taken Tripolitania, but the submarine attacks were just becoming absolutely annoying and dealing medium and light damage and taking out transports, and I just wasn't sinking enough of them. So I think it's time for a little bit of peace, and we can really refit our navy and then figure out where the next war will happen. Maybe it'll happen with Spain. I feel good that we have Western Sicily and Sardinia, so you know, I think that mission was accomplished in this war. But here we go, and not a great war, and I think it was the submarines, like, over and over again, really chipped away at the large victory margin we had, to be honest. So yeah, we can't really propose anything, even though, like, that's their fleet: 2 battleships, 2 cruisers, and 3 destroyers, but their submarines were just bleeding us dry. So it's June 1936, a little while after we have made peace with Italy, and just wanted to show you where we're at as a nation. So as you can see here, our monthly balance is nearly at plus 1 trillion per month, and a lot of that is me placing ships back onto limited. A bunch of my ships just went back to port or just arrived back in port, so I need to change some back. I do have my battlecruiser fleets in being. Probably not necessary in peacetime, but gives you a little bit more naval power. I don't know if that affects anything. Just, we don't need everything in limited. We're doing perfectly fine in our monthly balance. You'll see here that shipbuilding capacity is basically at max, and that's because we are refitting, repairing. We are also building, 4 mega battleships and 3 more battle cruisers. So all of that is going well. Politics, our growth jumped back up into the plus 14.5%. So back to where it was pre-wartime. Our GDP is one of the largest, I believe, if I look through this. I think the UK and the United States and France are the only ones larger than us, and the UK is at negative growth, probably because they're at war. Yep, although the United States at war and their growth is insane, and then France not at war. France is a nation I would like to go to war with. I think that would be a good enemy to fight. Maybe I'll start poking the bear by increasing tensions. Why not? Might ruin our naval prestige, but I think we have plenty of naval prestige to go around. As far as research, There is the hybrid battleship, which is unlocking soon, which is technically the true Scharnhorst shell. It's one of the newer ones that came out in the most recent patch. And then we're just, diving into big guns, making sure that our guns have the highest marks. As far as ship design, I have refitted the Köln class light cruiser, the Deutschland heavy cruiser, Scharnhorst battle cruiser, the V2 rocket, or the destroyer, and then the Bismarck class battleship. All of these have been refitted into the mid-30s, and we're working away on them. The Köln, I unfortunately had to remove the torpedo tubes. The Mark V torpedo tubes would not fit on the hull, and since on a refit you can't increase the beam, unfortunately I had to remove the torpedo tubes, but I replaced those with depth charges. I realized my light cruisers actually didn't have depth charges, so hopefully light cruisers with depth charges will help us in anti-submarine warfare. And the Deutschland class heavy cruiser, I had extra weight, so I threw depth charges on there, so maybe that'll also help with anti-submarine warfare. So some pretty good stuff. Scharnhorst is now just an absolute unit. I'll show it off real quick. It is a really powerful battle cruiser for 30, I think it's 31,500 tons. Upped its speed to 34, upped its range. Its propulsion is all top of the line, basically. Anti-torp 3, modern armor, moved it over to super heavy shells, and then increased its main belt and deck armor. It's like a battleship, but 31,500 tons with 11.1 inch guns. So it's a beast. It should take out enemy cruisers like they are nothing. But figured I would just show you the state of the nation as we prepare for the next war. Okay, it has been a while. June 1937. I stopped poking and prodding France because I realized it wasn't going well. For some reason, France likes us too much, and every time they went negative, then it went positive. So I started to poke and prod the Spanish Empire, and as of June 1937, we are now at war with the Spaniards. I think this should be a good fight. Only downside is if my ships start taking damage, I don't have a lot of port space because I maybe went a little overboard building. And I had a really stupid idea. Rangefinder 2 for radar is pretty awesome. I had a really stupid idea. And, what if I took the ships that have defects and built replacement ships for them? So, like, I'm building 3 extra Bismarck class battleships and another Scharnhorst class battlecruiser on top of 8 Berlin class battleships, and yeah, it's probably a stupid idea on my part, but I have just an absolute insane amount of money every month, and our naval funds are insane. Like, the United States wanted to go to war with us, so I was like, here's $10 trillion to go away. Like, I don't go to war with you right now. Same with the Chinese. Yeah, I don't know. And for those of you that are wondering, I literally choose naval funding every single opportunity. I have been told I'm wrong. There's a post on the Steam community that really breaks down naval percentage versus GDP. And I'm sorry, guys, every time I do a campaign where all I do is choose GDP, the naval balance seems to get really tight. Anytime I choose naval percentage, this is what happens. That I just have stupid amounts of money. And if you look at our GDP growth, it's absolutely insane too. The amount of extra growth you get by choosing the GDP option just doesn't do it. I know people will comment saying that I'm wrong and whatever. I haven't seen it. Nobody's shown me math that shows that the GDP works. The argument is, well, if your GDP increases, then your naval budget increases. And I just want to lay out this really terrible, simple math here. If you have 100% GDP and you had 1%, you have 101%. But your naval budget is 10%, or naval budget is 8.731, that's a marginal gain for your naval budget. If I increase my naval budget to 8.9% of that, 9% of that, 9.1, 9.2, 9.3, that is a massive, massive gain. And I don't know. As I said, my monthly budget is absolutely bonkers. I don't know what to say. I have so much money. The only thing that I can think that it really affects is your army force. Maybe that's the big difference, is your ground forces. But I would love for somebody to properly break down all the math. Actually, what I would love is somebody to basically do the exact same campaign from the exact same nation and see what happens when all you do is choose GDP versus all you do is choose naval percentage, and look at the GDP minus army budget, naval budget percentage, and monthly naval budget, and see how that all works. That would sort of be the definitive end to me. There's no wrong way in playing this game. Well, there is, but that's a story for a different way. But if you guys are wondering, I literally choose naval budget every time it pops up. Even if it's like plus 2.5% naval budget and minus 2.5% GDP. That's how I play. Anyways, we're at war with Spain, so might as well start moving some fleets out. Need to make sure none of these ships are refitting. I don't think we have any refits outside of 2 Scharnhorst class battle cruisers. Yeah, and those are in the Mediterranean, so not a big deal. Although I do need to change Olbia, Cagliari, and Palermo to sea control. I should change like Wilhelmshaven or Bremen to sea control, but we're just going to shove Emden, the battleship fleet at Emden, Hamburg, and probably Kiel into the Bay of Biscay, the North Atlantic, and probably into the Western Med. And we'll see if we can take any territory. It would actually be great if we could take Cyrenaica. It would also be great if we could take the Western Sahara. So we shall see. Santa Cruz would be a good one. But yeah, we'll just start shoving our fleets that direction. And hopefully, I didn't even look. Oh, sweet. We can move our whole fleet. So it's 3 battleships, battle cruiser, all those cruisers, and 6 destroyers with updated anti-submarine warfare depth charges type 5. Although now I've researched depth charge type 6, but yeah, I'm not going to refit on every single research upgrade. It becomes a little tedious. About every 5 years is sort of how I do it, or when there's like a big push forward in research. So let's move all of them out. Let's move all of Hamburg out, unless I'll have to double check. No. Wait, we already know. The only refits are in the Mediterranean, so I don't know why I'm thinking about that. And then Kiel, we'll just put you sort of out over here, stop the Spanish from going through the English Channel. They'd have to go around. And I might move out a battlecruiser fleet. I have to think about that, and as I said, I will change Olbia, Cagliari, Palermo, and one of these battlecruisers to sea control. I'll probably change Talon back to sea control, and we shall see where that goes. Let's take a quick look. Okay, this says the Spanish Empire has 26 battleships, so hopefully we can fight some real battles. I don't know if all of their battleships are... No, those are all cruisers. I don't know, 12 cruisers, light cruisers in a fleet? Ugh. That sounds miserable to face. Did I read that right in that port? 14... Holy submarines. God. I don't want to face submarines. One of the worst things in this game. Submarines. Anyways, we shall see if we have poked the bear enough. Alright, this is ridiculous. So, we found one of their battleship fleets. These battleships look god-awful. Their crew training is only trained. They have 8 14.5-inch guns, 4 11-inch guns, 2 8.7s, 6 6.2s, 6 5.2s, 15 2.1s. Absolutely bizarre. Top speed of only 25.4. Their armor is really crappy, 14.9 inches, only 120% effectiveness. Their displacement is really tiny. I mean, that's battle cruiser size for their displacement. So they are small, slow, not very well gunned, and not very well armored. So I'm thinking this should be a heyday. We will just screen our battleship and battlecruiser flotilla. And why is the Agir so small compared to these others? Did the Agir not get refitted? 158% armor, 158% armor. That's weird. The only defect is the gun long-range accuracy. But anyways, let's dive right on in. Who knows, this battle might take forever. It might be very quick, but we are going to stay at long range and duke it out. Alright, it is a beautiful sunny day. Well, it looks a little overcast, but this is great weather to attack in. Unfortunately, the sun is creating a glare, so we do have about a negative 7.5% chance to hit them, but I have arranged my ships, and they're already colliding and crashing into each other. I've put all of my cruisers into one group to screen and all of my destroyers out in another group to be scouts. They are on ship avoidance and torpedo avoidance, so that means that they will ram each other, ram all of my battleships, and probably head straight into torpedoes. But the enemy's on low fuel. That is something that the devs wanted to fix. These are some of the ugliest ships I've ever seen. I don't know how this little tiny funnel here propels this. Yeah. It's okay. I do want to make a hard right turn because they are actually turning the other direction. What's our distance? Around 20,000. That is fine. They should have terrible accuracy against us, and we should be pretty good against them. I'm going to slow this down for a moment because I just want to see how cool this fleet looks. Seems like too slow. There we go. I think that looks pretty cool. Take a look at our cruisers. I've said this multiple times. I think this game looks great for all the flaws in it. It has great bones. Unfortunately, great bones is not really what you want to say about a game that is fully released, but I enjoy it. I enjoy playing it, despite any of the miscomings. So it looks like we are absolutely pummeling their ships. We have the better guns, better ships, better gunnery. Prince Adalbert does look like it took a hit on its A turret, so that's rather interesting. Oh. Interesting. Quite some big hits. Prince Adalbert has taken a decent amount of hits there. Let's put all of those destroyers on smokescreen, as it looks like they're going in for a torpedo run, which I am a full supporter of in this situation. I just would prefer not to lose a single destroyer, and our first destroyer is getting absolutely decimated. So, not exactly what I want there. I feel like our torpedo range is a lot further than that too, so I don't know why they're getting that close. Maybe we will put these on screening of these, come on, screen of our battle line instead of scout. Maybe that'll fix up some stuff. Why is this guy, no, I thought I put you on retreat. And then same with you, you need to detach out and go on to retreat too. I don't know, that's suicidal. Why that far out? Oh my goodness, and that cruiser. I want screen ranges. I don't want them to go that far. Yeah, I'm going to lose the Saxony. That's stupid. I shouldn't have lost a single ship in this. People wonder why people make nothing but, like, battleship and battle cruiser fleets. And it's because of things like that. Maybe the Saxony will live. That's a little odd. But, like, this isn't a screen. Nothing about that is a screen. A screen would be the ships over here and over here. Nothing about that is a screen. So the solution is just get good, learn how to control multiple battle lines at once, and not utilize the mechanics of the game. That would be the true solution. Jeez, what ship is that that's just taking a beating? Okay, destroyers, retreat. Cruisers, you're doing okay, but not really. The destroyers are just getting pummeled. But we are just decimating their ships, absolutely decimating them. As I thought, our battleships and our single battle cruiser would tear apart their fleet. We did take a nasty flooding hit on Prince Adalbert, which is quite a substantial flooding hit. What's interesting about the all or nothing is how much flooding you get. Like, the enemy seems to only hit the fore and aft a lot of times. One of these campaigns I should go with, what do they call it, Turtleback? Or whatever, the Citadel 4, and try that out. Just see how that works in a campaign. So I don't think we lost anybody, but we definitely took some major damage on destroyers and light cruisers. As I said, nothing about that's a screen. Absolutely nothing. That's just a blob of ships that got rather too close to the enemy. Like, this ship is too far away from any help. That makes no sense. But let's turn in and see if we can should be able to get some good hits here. They're low fuel. Pretty piss poor damage there. Lots of ricochets, lots of blocks. Some of it's our battle cruiser ricocheting. Alright, the San Francisco is gone. Just need to take out the Esperanza. And then we can exit this battle. Hopefully it doesn't take too long to take out. I feel like our super heavy 15.5s or 15-inch guns should take it out easily, but that's a boatload of ricochets and blocks. And there we go. The battle is over. Nice and quick, not too shabby, minus our destroyers and heavy cruisers going on a death run. Didn't sink though, right? No, just absolutely crippled. 61,000 victory, 417 losses. Not too shabby there. Let's look at main gun accuracy. Some really high numbers there. Numbers that you like to see. The Agir is the one that has a defect on it. Yeah, long range gun accuracy, minus 4.7%. I want to replace this battleship, and I have started construction on another battleship because that's a absolute horrible defect on a ship that's sole purpose is long range fire. Anyways, great win. See you on the other side. And as is customary, as soon as a war starts and one nation loses a single battle, they desperately ask for a peace treaty, and I would like to fight to the end. Well, not fight to the end, but I would like to continue fighting. I would like to sink most of their navy. I think that would be great. I'm actually amazed that that's the only victory points I earned in that battle. I mean, we sank... Was that 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 battleships? Only 61,500 victory points? Rather interesting. We have another battle. Ooh. You know what? We will do this. This will be the last battle of the episode. We will do a cruiser duel between the Colne and the Vasco Nunez de Balboa. Hopefully I pronounced that correct. I think these ships are pretty similar. They have 15 barrels to our 10 barrels, but we shall see. They have underwater torpedoes. They are a lot slower than us. Let's get fighting. Alright, speed this bad boy up, and... what is this? Night battle? Well, it's a slight sun glare. Smooth sea waves. I mean, this looks like a traditional English summer day. That's a lie. England's pretty nice in the summer. It's the winter that's miserable. That's where my entire family is from. That is an interesting light cruiser. Alright, Colne. Well, you know, if you're gonna pop smoke, I'm going to pop smoke. I've mentioned my feelings on smoke before. This game doesn't really utilize smoke correctly, but if he's gonna pop smoke and make it hard to hit him, I'm going to pop smoke and make it hard to hit me. So, we should have the gunnery advantage, at least I think we should, as long as our turrets don't get stuck. Is this turret shooting? I don't think our rearmost turret is shooting. Wow, come on. Okay, so we're down to 8 barrels. Sweet, because for some reason the rearmost turret is not shooting. That is... I mean, what can you do? Alright, he does have underwater torpedo tubes, so I do need to be mindful of that. but I do need to stay in an arc where I can bring all of my forward batteries into him, because we're losing this duel. There we go. Big hits. Because my rear turret can't hit him. Let's be prepared for a torpedo launch. We are probably in his forward-facing torpedo arc, but I think we should destroy him. Light cruiser duels are always bloody because there is no armor. I mean, our ship did take a little bit of a beating there, but we have designed our light cruisers specifically to take out destroyers and other light cruisers. So our main guns, rapid firing with decent accuracy, and then tons of those 1.5-inch guns. We have 24 1.5-inch guns, which just riddle the enemy with HE. And you'll see main gun accuracy 22% and 43% secondary gun accuracy. His main gun accuracy 4.6 with a secondary of 18. So we will win that duel every time. Every time. I mean, we took a bunch of damage there. He did deal a bunch of damage to us, but not enough. So that was nice and quick. That'll probably be it for this episode. So as always, if you have made it this far, I greatly appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. It really, really does help out the channel. And as always, guys, until next time.